whining, dying, flopping, dropping, whining, dying, flopping, dropping, whining, dying, flopping, dropping, flopping, dropping, flopping and dropping, whining, dying, flopping, dropping, whining, dying, flopping, dropping, whining, dying, flopping and dropping, flopping and dropping, flopping and dropping.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday Funday, and it is Reaction Day. Let me get that off the screen so we can see all of our panelists better. Good morning, Speem Engine.
Good morning, everybody.
Your studio and everything's looking pretty sweet again today. Awesome.
Thank you.
Sports and fitness rants. Bring the coffee and cocaine for everybody, please.
Listen, I was about to get real upset, man. You had me down the corner, couldn't even see my face. I couldn't say hi to the people. I was like, don't do that again. Take me out the corner, damn it. All right, I'm always on the screen. I'm always on the camera. Once again, man, it's great to be on here with my man Airways. Thank you again for inviting me on the Sunday show. Shout out to my man Speem. Shout out to the Real Cyberius again. I see everybody out there in the chat. Once again, thank you very much, man.
Oh, we got Jules coming in already. It's going to be a good day. Someday I'll learn what that means. Robin, we got Jules.
Drop them jewels, man. Drop them. Listen, I tell you right now, when I get my monetization back, y'all better start dropping some jewels on my damn videos, man. I want some jewels dropped.
And I will say in advance, you people are keeping me floating. Thank you.
You people.
Hey,
talk about it begins. Sunday, man.
And it begins.
Talk about
you people.
Talk about being put in the corner. Cyberius is in the corner and hasn't even said hi yet.
Hello.
Aww.
I'm bringing the energy today.
Hey, why are you off camera? You told me you were going to come in red face.
Oh, he did say that.
On Wednesday, I will be in fucking red face.
Oh.
Save it for Wednesday. I like that.
You fuckers think I'm kidding. I have the face paint right in front of me, and I will be wearing my Chief Wahoo hat. We will be twins.
Red Face Wednesdays. Let's get it.
What?
Red Face Wednesdays. Hashtag that.
I've got a couple of new members or renewing. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. Silver Star and Party Hat. Robin, you know what that means, right? We got Silver Star and Party Hat jewels.
Listen, man, I told you, man, you guys better keep that same energy and continue to keep that energy with the jewels, man. A shout to, I see my man Frank out there asking an NFL question and asking us if we talk NFL. And he asked, do we hate the Cowboys like he does?
Yeah,
I do. Yes.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith.
1995.
Stephen A. Smith is enough of a reason to hate the Cowboys. I'm sorry. You disown him publicly. Say, get the fuck out of here, Stephen A. Fake Smith. He's not a Cowboy fan anymore than he's a Knick fan. And when he wears that Cowboy hat, I want to beat the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are right with that Stephen A. Smith stuff. I think he does add, because really what I think a lot of people hate is the fan base of the Cowboys. The Cowboys fan base is crazy, right? Every year they're Super Bowl contender. I thought I just saw an article about Dak Prescott, and like, now this year is Dak Prescott's last year. He's really got to do something this year. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, boy. The Dak Prescott conversation is still going.
They still waiting for this guy. They still trust in the process with Dak Prescott.
Hey, while people are filtering in and we're just talking about absolute nonsense, let's do a little bit of music, and so that I don't get copyrighted like I did last week. You only get a couple of seconds. Everybody ready?
Oh, shit.
Everybody ready?
I'm not ready.
Yep. Hoobastank.
Jesus, you guys didn't name it yet.
Stevie Wonder, baby.
Hoobastank. I'm guess Hoobastank every time.
I wish.
Wow. Cyberius and Sports and Fitness Rants were on it. It was Stevie Wonder. I wish. Robin, I just threw you a lob on that one. I knew you would get that because you didn't get Def Leppard last week. And everyone was very disappointed.
Like I said, you know, I'll be honest, man. I went back and I listened to some Steely Dan because you was pumping the Steely Dan. I did not know about Steely Dan. My dad did not listen to Steely Dan records. I told you my dad listens to a lot of different records. I never remember hearing Steely Dan. So I went back and listened to some Steely Dan, and that's some pretty mellow music right there, man. It's got a nice little jazz feel to it, man. Shout out to Steely Dan, man.
It's nice. I've been on a Steely Dan kick the last 2 weeks. I had to resist not making them our special music interludes again today. Super chat already. And Cyberius, how do you feel about reading from Thinking Through?
Oh, I like reading. What's up, AOH, Sports and Fitness Rant, and Cyberius, Speem, you're here too, I guess. That's crazy.
There's a trend happening I don't like, but let's just keep going.
I've been wondering which of the 7 deadly sins does the duck most represent? Envy and vanity are the first to come to mind. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's. You know what's crazy is I think he actually embodies all of them.
Yeah. I say yeah, sloth because he just stands around on defense.
Wait, who asked you this? Or are you pretending someone asked you just so you could say this?
No, it's Thinking Through in his super.
No, this is the super.
Oh, that's the super. I'm sorry, guys.
Which
a great question.
Get up so I can talk.
Oh, he's fired up. He's fired up.
I always think about that movie 7, man. Whenever I think about the sins, man, that movie 7 is some freaky stuff, man. If you ain't never seen that movie 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, man, y'all got to go check that movie out, man, because it is crazy.
That
What's
landed
in the box? What's in the box?
That landed in 1994. People weren't ready for that.
No, they were not.
Holy shit, 94. I was 9 years old. That's crazy.
That opened with a new like a dubbed down version of Closer by 9 Inch Nails that I'd never heard before. I know there's a lot of 9 Inch Nail fans on my channel. So
I know that song.
Good job, Spain.
I know that one.
So I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people that made songs specifically for movies. That's why a lot of us like a lot of the 80s movies back in the day. The soundtracks to these movies were incredible because oftentimes you had songs that were specifically made for the movie by great bands, great musicians. So again, man, shout out to all the people, you know what I'm saying, that remember the 80s music from these movies.
Hey, I'm going to do another music piece in just a second, but for everyone tuning in, just so you don't lose faith in us, we do have a schedule and we do plan on keeping it. The focal point will be reacting to Uncut's video on Barkley versus Windhorst, but I'm going to preface that with a little montage that our own Cyberius made. It goes with it nicely and quite contrastingly. I've got several nostalgia clips, and I'm going to talk about the effort to destroy the past. Only started happening since LeBron came into the league. We didn't used to do that. I think that's worth time for us to dwell on. And we're going to briefly think about the Western Conference Finals or Western Conference playoffs of the 90s. And I've got, Uncommon Sense put out one this morning about Brian Windhorst also. And I only got 2 minutes into it before I was so angry that I stopped and said, I got to just limit today, but maybe I did download it in case we get to it. Let me go around the panel. What do you guys have to add to that list? Or is that list going to be enough to link right into what you want to talk about? Let's start with Speem Engine before LeBron pouts himself off the screen, sitting at the end of the bench there.
I was clenching my fist. You have no idea. No, I was just going to kind of add on to the whole Brian Windhorst thing, because he's been outspoken lately in almost an aggressive fashion for him. And it's actually kind of surprising. It's good to see him take a strong stance, even though I disagree with it. So I just wanted to point out a couple little details about that. I also watched that Uncut Hoops video that you referenced. So I'm here for it.
All right. it sounds like we will naturally get to your topic. Cyberius.
I don't really have anything else to add. I think there's a lot to digest there, and yeah, I'm willing to get to it.
We love you, Cyberius. I'm sorry, I'm in a mood today. Robin, you have to pick one. I know you probably put out 10 videos this morning before we even got to this one.
No, that's funny. No, I saw something yesterday, and I don't even know if it's actual real or if it's fake news. You guys can maybe let me know right away if it is or not. I saw an article that said that LeBron James has broken the record of jersey sales. Now his jersey for the Philadelphia Sixers has surpassed some record for sales in the first. I don't even know what the record was, but he sold the most jerseys. Apparently, going to a new team or something. So I'm interested to know if that's actually true, because I'd like to talk about that, because to me, it's actually pretty funny.
Okay. All right. We'll put that on there. Now, as people are happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the supers. I'm going to do another Name That Tune. A lot of the stuff's older. This one's a little bit more recent. Let me know when you know the song.
Standing around, just blowing on my hands, not playing defense. Now watch me dance. Standing around, just standing around, standing around, standing around, just standing around.
I mean, I know it's
blowing on my
but I've never heard
hands,
it
now
before.
playing defense. Now watch me dance. Standing around, just standing around, standing around.
Are we supposed to be naming the song?
I was gonna guess Def Leppard like I always do, or who the same. So, you know,
I was gonna say that sounds like Uncommon Sense. And the funny thing is, I was like, is that Coolio for a second there? And then when it first came on, I was like, is this a Nate Dogg track? Let me find out. Airways got Nate Dogg bumping right now.
This is, you are hearing for the first time ever. I just got it about an hour ago. You are hearing the brand new Uncommon Sense track, Standing Around.
That's hard. That's hard.
Hey, I sound like Nate Dogg out there. Yo, shout out to Uncommon Sense, man, for coming through with the beats. Listen, he always got fire beats, man. And like I said, when it came on, I'm like, is this Uncommon Sense? I'm like, no, it's not Uncommon Sense, because Airways is not going to be playing Uncommon Sense song. But there it goes, man. Shout out to Uncommon Sense.
Shout out.
And is this in dedication to LeBron James on defense, standing around?
LeBron on defense, LeBron as a father, LeBron on offense.
That's that help defense right there. Standing around, help defense.
Yep.
Standing around like this.
LeBron on Taco Tuesdays.
When I think about, songs and movies and soundtracks, shout out to Eddie Murphy in the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, because those Beverly Hills Cop movies have some really good music, really good songs, man. A lot of Eddie Murphy's movies, they got good soundtracks.
You're still on that Glenn Fry kick.
Yeah, it's right. The heat is on.
Yep. Red Factor with another super. Where's Pineapple mid-range? We wish we knew.
Yeah, for real. If anybody's knows, maybe he got another channel, or maybe he's hiding from us. Tell him he don't gotta hide no more. And I hope he's doing good, because, like I said, he has some really good research. He had done like a lot of research. As a matter of fact, when you listen to a lot of the things that he brings up, so yeah, I hope he's doing good, man. He disappeared on us.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, part of my nostalgia package is looking at some really nasty Grant Hill stuff. People forgot about Grant Hill, and it's not fair. We're gonna look at just a little bit of Grant Hill.
And not focusing on the rim. Focused on the rim there. Wallace. Wow, Pistons by 50. And I think he drew a smile from John Wallace, who he dunked over as well.
Leitner has Mills. The tumble on Thorpe. Blaylock on
Oh!
Hello.
That Pistons jersey goes so cool.
Wow. He made it look so easy. Get to the basket.
Grant Hill. Oh, my.
Who was that, Dan Marley? Was that Dan Marley?
Nope.
Good, Don.
Oh, what?
That'll be easy. Skies and jams, hurt or not.
Boy, what a wonderful pull along the baseline, and Oliver Miller.
Hill will be picked up by Pippen, who plays with 4 fouls.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
That's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Well, undressed, I think, is the word. Hill and Pippen.
Even the best.
Ain't Scottie Pippen tired of getting crossed up like that?
I mean,
Ain't he tired of getting crossed up like that? Kobe did him the exact same way.
I've seen so many clips of Scottie Pippen stuck in cement. I'm starting to wonder even the defensive stories about him, the defensive credit he's been given.
That's a really AOH. That's a really strong point. There's a lot of highlights of him literally just looking lost on one-on-one defense. I never really thought about that.
Lost or uncaring.
Yo,
Go ahead.
Touche.
Yo, that was Grant Hill, y'all. That's prime Grant Hill. That's the dude that we remember. That's why a lot of times people bring up Grant Hill in those woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if scenarios. If this person didn't have an injury, Grant Hill's always one of the first names people bring up. Those highlights show why, and those highlights aren't even doing justice for Grant Hill, because not only was he elite at going to the rim, as you've seen, that right to left crossover for Grant Hill at that position, that's one of the elite crossovers, guys, that I've ever seen anybody in that small forward position do. You ain't never seen LeBron James pull no crossover like that.
Nope.
Dominique Wilkins wasn't doing a crossover like that, man. I ain't never seen Kawhi Leonard do a crossover like that. I mean, yo, when you see how quick it was from right to left, and like I said, you see when he dunks the ball, it's almost like a quick dunk. He's throwing it through the rim before you can really get there, man, and challenge it. And what you noticed is in all of those dunks, there was somebody there to challenge him at the rim. It wasn't just the guy that he was playing defense against, but when he went to the rim, there was somebody waiting there. And more often than not in that video, they were elite level. He dunked all over Elijah Moore, one of the elite shot blockers. All over.
Robin, not just that. He was going to the paint to score, not draw a foul. Grant Hill was what, 6'5", 6'6"? He was going to put the ball in the hoop. You ain't see him flailing around. Look like for him to be dunking on primetime in paint defenders like that with intention is crazy. Also, shout out to Fila. Grant Hill had one of the nastiest sneakers ever of all time. Sad to see what happened to him.
That spin move on the baseline, if LeBron attempted something like that, it would be at half speed and the ball would be comfortably nestled on his hip, completely tucked away, 100%.
He would tear his ACL. He would hurt. He would hurt
And the
himself.
only ankles he break were his.
Yeah,
And even then he would
see
fall
him
down.
hurt himself.
He would fall down, and the refs would blow the whistle on the other team.
Shout out to Sox R2B. Grant was 6'8". I did not realize he was 6'8". That's even more impressive. That's crazy.
I told you, man, what he was doing at that position, like I said, he brought some flair. When you talk about him and someone like Jason Kidd coming at the same time, I mean, if you think about Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, right? And you think about guys like Allen Iverson, the Kobe Bryants, the Vince Carters, those guys we saw, but we didn't get a chance to see those guys go against Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill all those years, because that would have been some great battles, some great matchups. It would have also been great to see an older Grant Hill or an older Penny Hardaway going against the young crop of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony, these other guys that came in that early 2000s. So when you talk about what Grant Hill could do, he could pass the ball, he could rebound, he could run the court. You know, he could do a lot of things on the basketball court, man. And like I said, he did it with a certain flair and a certain swag, you know, that a lot of guys, they didn't have, man. That's why they said the commercials, the Sprite commercials, the Fila sneakers. I mean, people talk about Jordans and people getting robbed for Jordans. People was getting robbed for their Filas too, man.
AOH, real quick. The piece about disrespecting history, is any of that covering what Chris Paul's been saying about guards? Did you plan on touching on any of that?
No, but we can add it.
Okay. Never mind. I just wanted to get that out there.
But you know what? You gave me an opportunity to say one more thing I want to say about the Grant Hill bit that pertains to something I had on the schedule for later today. And I heard a guy on another channel defending past because they try and tear down all of Jordan's opponents. And in order, I almost said the answer, but let me be interactive. Why do people try to tear down Jordan's opponents in the past? Because the reason I say why, and it's worth thinking about, is that it's a new thing. That's not normal. We didn't do this with every generation. When Jordan was trying to claw his way to the top, people weren't trying to make the past players worse than they were in order to lift Jordan. When Grant Hill looked like he could take over the NBA, we were all happy. We weren't in cults. We were happy to see good basketball and good basketball players. It has only been since the LeBron James era of basketball that all of a sudden these campaigns to make the sport everybody's supposed to love look like it used to be shitty. And there's only one motivation to worry about the past, and that's dissatisfaction with the present. Robin, take it.
No, I mean, listen, this is what we're talking about. This is why we're here, right? When people talk about Michael Jordan's competition, that's what it's been about, the era that he played. Like you said, I thought that back in the day, why everybody was so impressed with Michael Jordan, why what he was accomplishing was so impressive, was because who he was doing it against. That's what everybody kept saying back then. They were like, damn, how is he able to beat all these great players? Go through Patrick Ewing, go through Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, Clyde Drexler, the Karl Malones, the Stocktons, the Gary Payton, all the great players, Reggie Miller of his era, the guys that he had to go through, his contemporaries. A lot of people like to bring up Larry Bird a lot to knock Michael Jordan, and they'll say things like, oh, Jordan never beat Bird. No, Bird never beat Jordan, man. Don't get it twisted out here, because the 86 Bulls faced off against the 86 freaking Celtics. And you guys are going to sit here and try to argue with me that Bird's team was comparable to the 86 Bulls? Let's put Michael Jordan on the Celtics and put Larry Bird on the Bulls. Do you guys think that Larry Bird's going to lead that Bulls team over the Celtics? But more importantly, do we forget about the Olympic Games? When the select all NBA stars with Larry Bird included, with Isaiah Thomas, Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson, those were Larry Bird's teammates. And he was getting smoked by Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, and Chris Mullin. They were destroying them dudes. So Michael Jordan proved that if you give him a little bit of help, you can't stop him. It don't matter who's in front of him. But when you talk about the competition that he went against, this is why we're here, guys. I told you I woke up one day, I went to YouTube, and I was never on YouTube, man. It was COVID time. I was on YouTube, and all of a sudden, people was trying to say, oh, yeah, LeBron James right behind Jordan. Then you got people making videos, oh, LeBron been past Jordan. I was like, what the hell? I told my wife, I can't believe this stuff is actually being said. Like you said, AOH, no one talked like this back in the day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not for nothing, real quick, not for nothing. NBA on ESPN just recently posted on their YouTube social that, if LeBron plays 2 more seasons, he'll officially play 10 more years than Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And the reason that was so disappointing is because now it just seems like the NBA itself is directly kind of stabbing Jordan in the back, which I'd never seen it get that bad before. But for them to point out, first of all, a hypothetical, right? Like if he plays 2 more years, he'll have played 10 more years than Jordan. That's already disgusting. But for you as the entity itself, as the business itself that this man made relevant for you and all of its billionaires, for you to point that out, you're kind of showing your hand. It was very startling. I forgot to mention that, AOH, but in terms of disrespecting the past, the NBA itself is now just openly doing it.
Yeah, I screenshotted that. I was like, wow.
Did you? Okay.
I was like, that's
crazy.
I just did a video a couple of days ago, and if the video was about comments made by Jeff Teague, and Jeff Teague was talking about how he'd rather have Kyle Korver over Reggie Miller taking a shot. And I started laughing. I'm like, this is where we're going now. Now, all of a sudden, Kyle Korver is somehow on the level of Reggie Miller. And the funny thing about his comments is that he said that if he had one wide open shot, he would take Kyle Korver over Reggie Miller. And I said, the fact that you have to qualify that by saying wide open lets me know that Kyle Korver is not that great. Because, yeah, if you need to be wide open to be like, yeah, I'm going to take that guy if he's wide open, that shows me that Kyle Korver's not on Reggie Miller's level. Because if I need a shot between Kyle Korver and Reggie Miller, I need a shot I don't give a damn if he's double teamed. I don't care if he's triple teamed. I don't care if Reggie Miller has to run off 4 different freaking screens to get the ball to take that shot. I don't care if there's 1 second left on the clock or 5 seconds left on the clock. I don't care if it's for 3 or for 2. I'm taking Reggie Miller over Kyle Korver every day of the week, man. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about people talking about the other era. Now all of a sudden Kyle Korver is on the level of Reggie Miller somehow.
All right, take a breath.
You're right.
His nose is bleeding again.
But you guys, isn't this a contradiction to what fanboys usually say? I thought that LeBron had no help. Now Kyle Korver is better than Reggie Miller. And listen, this is how stacked LeBron's Cavs teams were. People don't even mention Kyle Korver with the rest of the lineup. He had so many people don't even think he's worth mentioning. And now he's better than Reggie Miller. I mean, which one is it? Like, Cyberius, go ahead. You've been quiet.
You know, I feel like in the past they held a standard. The media held the standard, the league held the standard, the players held the standard, the fans held the standard. They were not going to let Jordan surpass Bird or Magic if he didn't earn it. And what they have to do now is they have to destroy the past because it maintained that standard, that if they held it, LeBron could never be considered an all-time great. He could never be measured against any great, period.
Just so
if they
everyone
don't
knows.
tear it down, if they don't chop the legs off of it,
Yeah,
to make it seem lesser than, he will be exposed for what he is.
I want to reiterate, like, you can have your opinion about which type of basketball you prefer. It's probably based on a false premise if you prefer today's basketball. But that aside, the real question here is why would all of a sudden we need to start tearing down the past? It's not like every generation did this. Maybe the young generations think this is normal behavior. You know, that's why I felt like it was worth mentioning on the show. Maybe they don't know better. This is not normal. This is not what everybody did. This is not what every generation did. Like, imagine Kobe. Kobe was in the conversation while he was at his peak. You know, I'm sure most people here don't think Kobe is above Jordan, but they were doing that conversation back then. And as Kobe was creeping up there with his rings, no nervous people from the past started, or no part of that campaign for Kobe included shitting on Michael Jordan or shitting on Larry Bird or shitting on Wilt Chamberlain. It wasn't part of it. It's a new strategy, and it's really despicable.
Well, there's a dynamic AOH that is within the subtext of what you're saying. Kobe respected those that preceded him. He consistently talked about the work that he needed to put in to get to where he was. He never had to deal with a lot of negative press. Right? But he never complained about those that came before him. The irony now is that this beating up of the past, if you ask these present day pussies, like these dudes that just complain that they get paid millions of dollars in guaranteed contracts and play 45 games a season, right? They're the ones who say, well, these past guys, they don't appreciate current day players. So they're the ones playing victim, saying that, that the Barkleys and the Shaq, well, not Shaq, he's obviously paid for, but like the Barkleys and guys of that ilk don't appreciate today's game. But it didn't start until the disrespect of the past was initiated.
Yeah.
So it's what it is? It's like that bully. We always talk about bullies when we talk about LeBron and Clutch, right? Once the bully starts to get bullied, now all of a sudden they're the victim. And Draymond Green is one of the worst at that. He's consistently talking about it's worse. I know we joke about the race card here, and it's funny, but he really plays that race card every chance he gets from this victimhood mentality, and that's present day NBA. So I think that's a dynamic that's not talked about enough.
Yeah, I'm glad LeBron didn't come here, but the Warriors are still kind of the undead as long as Draymond is here. Amazing moves the Warriors made in the offseason trying to help Steph. Just amazing. I'm going to keep pushing the show along.
You'll watch when Karl Malone is guarding Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq has a difficult time getting inside, gets mugged right off the bat.
Hard foul by the mailman on Shaquille O'Neal. It takes a pretty good blow to take that man to the canvas.
Down low, and he's going to lead with his rear end as he always does, and then Karl Malone makes no attempt to make a play on the ball, so they call a flagrant foul.
There's Malone just grabbing Shaq, and so the flagrant foul.
Writing a letter. Why don't they do that every game?
Bill, don't underestimate the power of mom.
Yep.
I never do.
Yep.
They're gonna have to call a flagrant foul right back
Here, Karl Malone called for a flagrant foul on O'Neal, and Shaq returning the favor.
Tom, one of the problems with Shaq being the biggest, strongest guy in the league is that what looks like inconsequential contact there, but the little extra push there in the back, they're going to have to call that.
Karl is already starting to get up, and Shaq got up quickly too. I mean,
that's a great point.
That might be the most important point.
Yeah, it's a great point, AOH. That's a fantastic point you made. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Those guys were getting immediately up off the deck because, again, to go down is a sign of weakness. See, now these guys,
those guys actually got sat down. Those guys didn't have a choice. They actually got sat down.
They laid down now. They rolled around. You know, they got to carry on and let you know that they're significantly hurt. It reminded me of like a lot of things I saw during the World Cup play. No disrespect to the soccer players, but I mean, my God, dudes, what are you guys doing out there? Every time I turn around, these guys are rolling around. And when you look at the replay, they no one touch you fools. But anyway, I digress on the World Cup here because we're doing on the NBA basketball court, things that we never saw before. So like you said, Karl Malone getting immediately up, Shaq getting immediately up off the deck.
AOH, what's interesting about that? Sorry, real quick, my bad, Cyberius.
Hey, you keep saying real quick. It doesn't change that you're being rude.
You have the power to mute me, and I'm going to play the race card. So go ahead.
Oh no! Don't do that.
If you ever superimpose that video over like a Dante DiVincenzo running into LeBron and LeBron acting like he broke every rib in his body, I think that tells you exactly the state of things. Just like Robin said, Shaq got up. Karl Malone is a bulky dude, right? Shaq is a big, like these are big, like athletic, like dudes, right? And they got up right off the ground. And you have a LeBron, running into a Dante DiVincenzo acting like someone's stone cold stunner. It's embarrassing. It's because you can't mean to tell me that there's that big of a difference in the contact, especially from somebody who supposedly spends $6 billion, on a year on his body and his Iron Man. So I think it's important to show clips like that.
Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era. Back in the day, man, I was a little bit after my time, but I do remember Stone Cold, The Rock, a lot of those guys in the late 90s, early 2000s, man, the Attitude Era. So shout out Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Eyal Sabag, I just watched the 2014 finals again. Kawhi really destroyed LeBron at both ends. There were so many playoff series that LeBron was not the best player in the series. Michael was always the best player in any playoff series.
Agreed.
It's a great comment. It seems like
once again, shout out to Eyal Sabag for always coming through.
Yeah, it seems like that right there is enough to end the GOAT debate. I mean,
and then they won't use the age for Kawhi Leonard in 2014, right? We could point to the age. Oh, LeBron James was too young. He was too young here. He was too young there. He was too young every day. They want to talk about Kawhi Leonard, right? And they won't talk about how old Kawhi Leonard was and his age in relation to LeBron James in the 2007 NBA Finals. All this nonsense. And like you guys said, Michael Jordan at least took the challenge. He took the challenge. LeBron James did not even take the challenge in a lot of these series that we've talked about. He didn't take the challenge, but now they're trying to tell you that he could guard 1 through 5. Could. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But you never did it.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. That needs to be another song. That's next. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Tell common sense to put it in.
As long as Kawhi is getting mentioned, just a reminder, everybody.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Kawhi was allowed to play all season, and now that he's going to the West, all of a sudden it's time to start investigating him again. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Hey, who wants to do another musical interlude?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get the speed. Robin and Cyberius were pretty close with the last one, and you keep guessing Hoobastank for some reason. All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2. I have to stop.
Bill Withers.
Are you cheating?
No.
All
What did
right.
he say?
Bill Withers. All right, name the song though.
We know that.
Then say it.
My friend feels there.
Burn
Shaq.
up in the sky.
Shout out to Cyberius for getting Bill Withers, Robin for singing it, everyone in the chat who got it. Bill Withers, Use Me is the name of the track.
Next time my
That's it.
camera's on, I'll show you guys
Just
my
about
vinyl collection behind me. Music is my life.
Ooh, you should DJ. You should do a live set for us one of these shows.
So we can get copyrighted to hell.
M. Hunter Stevie, Steam Engine. If you
Shout out to M. Hunter Stevie 2081 with the 999. Whatever complaints you have about flopping in the NBA, soccer is that much worse. Rolling around for 5 minutes, getting stretchered off the pitch only to pop up on the sidelines, instantly healed.
LeBron James is actually taking it that far. LeBron is taking it that
I
far.
would say basketball is probably worse now.
Ooh, well.
I would say it's worse. Maybe it's because I'm thinking specifically of LeBron James and how. Well, think about it for a second, because these dudes are touted as the best athletes on the planet, right? Stronger, faster, better, more physical, but yet they can't seem to stop staying off the ground. Like, I know that there's flopping in soccer, don't get me wrong, but those athletes aren't touted and marketed as the prime beings on planet Earth like they are in the NBA right now. So that's my only argument to why I think it's worse.
I don't think any of those soccer players weigh 250 pounds.
Yeah, see, and I think Air Waits is onto something right there. And I think that's why I think overall, what I witnessed in the World Cup, way worse than what I see in the NBA overall. But when you talk about certain specific players in the NBA, and we talk about players, or soccer players overall, like Air Waits just mentioned, man, look at the size of some of the NBA players that we see flop around that level. Ain't none of them soccer players this big, man. None of them dudes. All right. And again, not taking anything away from what I see on the soccer pitch. And I'm not saying that it's worse. I think overall it's definitely worse in soccer. But let's think about what these guys do in NBA. Let's think about LeBron James specifically, right? Let's go and let's hate on LeBron James some more. What do you see LeBron James do? You see LeBron James do this. I don't see no soccer players doing this. And then the next play, you're flying into the air. And then you fall down. You're rolling around. You're looking for cuts. You're hurt. The replay comes. No one touched you, dude. But you're 6'9", a freight train locomotive. LeBron James flexing on cats. He puts in all the work in the offseason. He puts $1 million into his body. And he throws himself into the ladies in the front row and knocks their drinks over. From not even being touched, man. That's what makes it worse than the soccer guys.
Robin, read Xavier to God.
Absolutely. Once again, shout out to Xavier to God, always coming through with the supers. LeBron was beat by old Mavs and Spurs in his prime. Exactly. But they use the A's for LeBron.
Yep.
Anybody want to see a little montage of Shaq against the Celtics? Or shall we keep moving?
No, I want to see that.
Your show.
This is called Celtics tried to play small ball against Shaq.
Open, he missed it three. Good rebound inside, but it's lost. Shaq's got it.
It's alive! It's alive!
Outside to Kobe. Kobe goes hard baseline. Keeps going. Spins it up. Woo! A lot of English on that one.
Out of the basket, shows the ball, takes it to the other side, up. Wow. Nice English on the ball. Doing good job.
Talk about a tough assignment. Impossible. Left-handed slammed up. Pass inside on the line. inside. Stops up for a 20-footer, doesn't hit iron. Shaq outside.
Barbecue chicken.
Oh, there's a good lob into Shaq. Gotta watch the offensive foul. Slam dunk.
Yeah, now Jim O'Brien wants to point guard. The crowd would love to see the big fella shoot a
Oh,
You see that spin? Hey, you
you
see that spin?
George
That's crazy.
Yeah,
He's that big spinning off a defender like that. That's wild.
That's right.
love to see the big fella shoot.
Stops up for a 20-footer, doesn't hit iron. Shaq outside. Oh, there's a good lob into Shaq. Gotta watch the offensive foul. Slam dunk.
Yeah, now Jim O'Brien wants to point guard.
Right, we
the
round
crowd
it.
would love to see the big fella shoot a
Oh, what a lob. They'll love that just as much. Devin George, a beautiful lob pass to a sky-high Shaquille
Well, it
O'Neal.
was off the mark enough, but Shaquille was there. Devin says, thanks, big fella. Give me the assist, and the Celtics want
Remaining. Inside the shot. She thought about the lob. Whips it in. Oh, beautiful pass.
Oh, this is a three-point opportunity.
Cargo into the front court. Didn't have no Shaq's got the offensive rebound.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Superman has just come to save the day.
The big fella.
That last one, that's got to be so frustrating. I mean, literally, you're not going to stop him. All three of you can hit him.
He wasn't even in shape. He wasn't even in shape. He didn't even take his fitness serious. And he was that unstoppable. Kids do not understand how just powerful Shaq really was. And he half-assed his career. And that's a big part of the reason he and Kobe didn't get along. Because if he had matched Kobe's work ethic, we're probably talking realistically maybe 7 rings, maybe 8 minimum.
There's a couple things I need people to understand.
Seriously.
Okay.
Did y'all see the footwork on Shaquille O'Neal? Again, man, I remember when I was a kid, they had this store called Modell's, right? It was called Modell's. They sold all the sports stuff. If you was getting ready for your new season in Pop One or Little League, whatever it was, CYO, you wouldn't go to Modell's and get all your stuff there, right? And I remember they had a Shaquille O'Neal sneaker on display there. When I saw that sneaker, I want to say I was like 12, 13 years old when I saw this shoe. Shaq's shoe was huge, guys. I don't even think people realize how big this man's feet were or are. I mean, in the things that you saw Shaq do in that video, would you hear the announcer say, Shaq avoiding the offensive foul? How does someone that big avoid offensive fouls catching the lob passes coming into him like that? Not hitting people with elbows and stuff like that, because Shaq had great footwork, man, and balance on those feet, man. I mean, look at what Shaq did when he caught that pass. He didn't travel. Look at his feet. He able to catch, have the pivot foot, pump fake, throw it down hard. Another thing I noticed that once again puts what I was telling you guys in perfect perspective here, when they had Shaquille O'Neal ranked as the 11th best dunker in NBA's history, man. Come on, man. Shaq had the one-handed dunk and the two-handed dunk. So no doubt and no knock on Shaq, but that proves what I was telling you guys about Shaq. Go look at David Robinson's dunk package. It's way more impressive, but you guys see what Shaq could do, and they tell you now that Nikola Jokic would destroy Shaquille O'Neal.
No, they didn't go that far. They didn't say that, did they? Are you making it up now?
The thing Robin, you brought up such a good point. He didn't lead with one elbow. In that entire clip, Shaq didn't lead with not one elbow. And again, his footwork wasn't always like that. He learned technically how to improve his game. He didn't just go get more steroids and more drugs. He learned footwork. He learned how to have a soft touch around the rim. I'll never forget when he came back and all of a sudden he starts moving like a ballerina in the paint. Just like you said, avoiding the offensive foul, avoiding going into foul.
I got to keep pushing forward. Cyberius, a couple of words, and then we're moving on to the main topic.
I just think it's crazy when you look at LeBron versus Shaq. Shaq is a bigger guy. He weighs more. He's taller. And yet he moves with a grace that LeBron has never, ever had. Ouch. And that's why I always find it funny when people constantly talk about LeBron's athleticism. Well, if he's constantly hurt, if he can't go to the basket without slamming into people, what athleticism are we exactly talking about? Because he can still jump at 41 years old? Like, I feel like I'm missing something. Athletes do things that normal people can't do. If I was 6'9", I feel like I could do the same shit that LeBron does.
And 41 is not old.
No.
I mean,
Yo, Shaq was drop-stepping people into oblivion, man. You see the drop step he was putting on these dudes? You didn't want to be behind that. Dudes didn't want to be there. You know who was there? Karl Malone was there. Karl Malone was going to be in there. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Rodman was standing in there on them drop steps. I keep telling people, man, when you look at Shaquille O'Neal when he first came in the league, man, I think people are sleeping on the athleticism of Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of people now talk about Shaq. They act like he's slow. Oh, Shaq was slow. Yeah, maybe those last 4 or 5 years, we all saw what Shaq became. But when you think about Shaq, those first 6, 7, 8 years in the league, those first couple of years when he was in LA before he went full-blown Hollywood, yo, this dude was crazy. He was blocking shots. He was rebounding. He was making it rain out there.
Shout out to Xavier to God again. LeBron was beat by old Mavs and Spurs in his prime. Not only were those guys old, LeBron was in his prime.
Right, exactly.
And Raider Nation, hey, welcome to the show. We know he's a narcissist, nothing new. And I'd better say we're getting to the main topic. We got through most of our fun stuff. I'll come back to the Western Conference observations that I have. Main content, we're going to do the Barkley and Windhorst sound bites. And the reason I thought this was interesting is that we just spent Wednesday kind of shitting on Barkley for crumbling. And Cyberius has a montage of people moving the goalposts, which includes Barkley. And yet Uncut Hoops, whom we all love, put out one thanking Barkley for being the last voice. So I was like, wow, if Barkley is our last voice and he's crumbled this far, we're in bad shape. But let's just think about how different, what it is about the videos that these people could have such different takeaways. Yalsabog, Speed, you want to read that?
Yeah. Shout out to Yalsabog. Pronounce that for me again one more time, which I want to make sure I'm not disrespecting it. Yalsabog?
I don't know that I'm
772. All right, cool.
Yalsabog. I think it's.
I just want to make sure I'm getting it right.
Yeah. I don't
all right. Another thing about the 2014 finals. The stats show LeBron had a good series, but most of his scoring was done in garbage time or the first quarter. Credit to Uncut Hoops video. Great comment. The majority of his points for him to get the scoring title, all-time scoring title, came in garbage points.
Yep.
The majority of his progress in life comes from garbage time. Great comment. Great comment.
His life is garbage time.
His life is garbage, I think, is the summation of that.
That was childish. Shame on me.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
Damn it.
Uncut. Wait, we're doing Cyberius first.
Robin, I can't wait to get to that jersey sales topic. That's a great topic.
And we about to get serious.
Shout out to Uncommon.
It's the Real Cyberius.
Let's take a look at this clip.
Here we go.
Let's talk about it.
But if you win a title in year 42 and 43, you're absolutely the GOAT.
With what you said about Michael Jordan, you would give LeBron James, if the 76ers win back-to-back titles, you'd give LeBron James the title of GOAT?
I probably.
LeBron figures out a way to win this title this year. What would that do for his legacy?
That will catapult him officially into who's the GOAT conversation with Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah. Do you know how little he said there? into the conversation.
Jalen Rose is a corner.
You're still trying to get him into the conversation.
Undo in your mind to catch MJ for that GOAT.
There's no doubt LeBron is playing for a different legacy, and the legacy being the only player in NBA history to win a championship with 4 different teams.
It is amazing that something that is shameful, all you do is remarket it. It's a good thing. It's actually shameful. He runs every time he needs to run, and he doesn't run to a new challenge. He runs to an easy, already created path. It's so shameful. It's astonishing. And then ESPN just turns around and says, you know what? They'll never see this coming. We'll just say that something that's incredibly shitty is a good.
Who's this guy on the screen now?
He used to play in the NFL. Chris Canty used to play in the NFL.
Okay.
He played for the Giants for a couple of years. Some other teams.
Okay.
In year 42 and 43.
So in these clips, all of these.
All right. No offense to Cyberius. He made the video. Go to his channel and watch his full video. He has great takes. But I just wanted everyone to see that before we get to Uncut's video. And it's no rip on Uncut. I think it just makes a great conversation. It's weird that Barkley said both of these things in the same decade, much less, I think, the same fucking day.
The reason Michael Jordan is the GOAT, he got beat in the head. He kept, you know what, I'm going to get bigger, stronger. That, to me, is the way I would like to see it done. That's why I admire Dirk Nowitzki.
That's what Charles is saying he views it as. I would just say, absolutely, the team in Miami was stacked. And absolutely, he, Bosh, and Wade came together to stack it.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock.
The following free agencies, I'm not sure that's true. He came to Cleveland. They hadn't made the playoffs in 4 years. They did the Love trade. Kevin Love had no history of any success in the playoffs. If you want to call that a stacked team, I guess, but like from stacked says who?
I mean, we were a super team. We were a team that was expected to go to the finals, expected to have the potential to win a championship.
I'm not going to do the Stepford Wife thing like all LeBron and his friends do. Like these guys on television now. Like, I don't want to upset LeBron because I want him to talk to me and I want him to do interviews.
When looking at the past week of NBA media coverage.
Opening remarks.
Yeah. I want to say about the Barkley and Windhorst comment. See, this is what I'm talking about with these guys. When they come out here and they speak and they're disingenuous and they're allowed to just ramble this nonsense off, and we have to come out here and set the record straight now. When he talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers, you notice what he did there. The Cleveland Cavaliers didn't make the playoffs for 4 straight years. Yeah, no duh. They didn't have LeBron James and Kevin freaking Love, dude. Like, give me a break here, man. He acts like LeBron James was the only guy they added. And then you're like, yeah, man, look at the team he went to. They didn't even make the playoffs for 4 years. Dude, that's asinine again, man. You're trying to create a narrative and make it seem like the team wasn't good. They didn't just add LeBron James, man. They added a bunch of guys to that roster when they were winning. Also, when he said that they weren't the favorites or they weren't a Steelers, you want to call them a stacked team. Dude, go look at the preseason odds for the championship in 2015. Number 1 preseason odds. LeBron James fans never want to talk about preseason odds. They want to talk to you about the odds going into the finals, man. That's nonsense. They were the preseason favorite.
Real quick, AOH Cyberius says he's stuck backstage. Just giving you a heads up.
Thank you.
Second of all, so Windhorst, like I said, he's really taking these strong stances, and it really makes me wonder, like, he must have a contract negotiation coming up or something along those lines, because he's usually not this declarative in his stances. He's typically kind of spineless in how he approaches things, but between this and his whole, Jordan fans aren't going to change their minds if LeBron wins one in Philly and all that, I'm really starting to see him have a backbone with these things. But again, it all comes back to, if I am your number one fan in the media, and I think Barkley and Windhorst is probably LeBron's number one fan, and my hero, my personal hero, just absolutely humiliates me on the Pat McAfee show in front of the world, I don't know if I can speak about him again. Like, that's one of the weirdest things. I don't know if I would ever be complimentary of a man who calls me weird in front of millions of people on live television. When Windhorst, as pathetic as it is responsible for a lot of LeBron's positive press. So the whole thing has like a cuck energy to it, and it's very worrisome of just his level of character.
Can we talk about the strategy of, God, I don't know what to call it. the TikTok generation that he's acting like. If you want to call it that, a stack team, as if that's an actual argument. Yes, we want to call it that because it is one.
Exactly.
But you sound like a little bitch, and all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, maybe it's not a stack team. But just because Brian Windhorst said, well, if you want to call it one, that's not an argument.
If you go back and pull media clips, from when the Heat were coming together, I promise you, Windhorst was one of the ones saying they were a stacked team. I promise you, if you go back and look at the coverage, he was one of the first ones talking about how great they were. You can sit there and say, well, Kevin Love doesn't have any playoff experience. The dude was a walking double-double. Kevin Love in Minnesota, before he became clinically depressed from playing with LeBron James, was a monster. Before he became the face of men's mental health in the NBA, he was a monster. And he was actually kind of fat. He was kind of chubby, still pulling down, 25 and 13. 30 and 14, balling out. Yeah, it was for nothing. But he was a prime time player. And now look at him. Every time you look at him, he just looks sad. He looks like a skeleton. And I promise you, Windhorst was one of the guys saying how stacked they were. You don't have WWF, WWE type events for teams that are not stacked. You don't come out to fireworks for a fucking team that's not stacked. I mean, what are we talking about here? This is exactly what I'm talking about revisionist history. When in history have you ever seen a team get that kind of celebration that was not considered stacked? It's embarrassing now what they're saying.
I pulled down some Kevin Love highlights just in case someone wanted to go off talking about his older days. But also, Brian Windhorst sneakily tried to plant in people's minds that if you didn't already have playoff history, then that means you aren't an addition. I mean, LeBron didn't make the playoffs until his third season, and the Cavs kept changing the roster for him. How many amazing changes do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves were doing to launch Kevin Love into the playoffs? And his stats were his stats. He was a franchise player. He was the franchise player, people. The franchise player, period.
Yo, AOH, you're killing it right now. You guys are killing it with your spin. You led right into AOH with the Kevin Love stuff, because I was going to say the same thing and continue with Brian Windhorst. What did he do there? He tried to take a shot at Kevin Love. And that's exactly what they always do to LeBron James teammates. So instead of people talking about how Kevin Love is one of the greatest outlet passers in the history of basketball, that's what Kevin Love, you actually showed a highlight there of Kevin Love's outlet passes, which I believe he learned from Wes Unseld, who's one of the great outlet passers in NBA's history. So instead of us talking about Wes Unseld and the lineage between Wes Unseld and Kevin Love as one of the great outlet passers in NBA's history, they never want to talk about this kind of stuff. But Michael Jordan's teammates, they'll tell you, Scottie Pippen, the greatest all-around player ever. Steve Kerr is the greatest three-point shooter in NBA's history. Every one of Michael Jordan's teammates is the greatest at whatever they would have to do. Bill Cartwright's the greatest guy who ever shoots like a weirdo. All these guys are the greatest 10th guys on the bench. Oh, man, no one played like Judd Buechler. When that dude came in for those minutes in the finals, you knew it was over because Judd Buechler came in there. Everybody's pumped up. They never talk about what Kevin Love was doing. He won a three-point shooting contest. They won't tell you that, but that's what Kevin Love doing. Like Speed mentioned, he was one of the greatest rebounds, one of the elite rebounds in the game. But no, they won't talk about Kevin Love's rebounding prowess. Now, he's just some guy.
Love.
Sorry. I thought it would be interesting to look at all the roster changes that took place when LeBron went back to the Cavaliers, because they so often try and make it sound like it was just LeBron went there, or it was just LeBron and Kevin Love and Kyrie. That's not all that happened. I'm going to read 2014-2015 season additions. Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Perkins, Mozgov, Kevin Love, James Jones, Sean Marion, Mike Miller, Lou Amundsen, Joe Harris, Brendan Haywood. And then the next season, because that wasn't enough, also Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson. I already said James Jones, Dante Jones, Jared Cunningham, Mo Williams. That is a lot of fucking roster changes, people. It's a lot of dancing around to try and propel LeBron James over the finish line instead of him just carrying who was drafted.
Yeah, go look at 2018 Cavs season. Go look at all the moves that one season. The 2018 Cavs, they got every available player that played basketball, guys that didn't play basketball. They got everybody on that. Go look at the roster for the 2018 Cavs, guys. You'll see names like Dwayne Wade on there. You'll see names like Derrick Rose on there. You'll see, there you go, man. All kinds of names on the 2018 roster, man. They had everybody on there. Jose Calderon, Rodney Hood. I mean, they got everybody come out there. Jeff Green.
Don Vaughn. LeBron is the GOAT. Stop capping. Greatest of all trash. Hey, that's mean. And Carl Harvey. Do not forget, super teams are another team's plus.
Number one pick.
Oh.
Number one pick.
Right, you're going to sacrifice a lot of things giving LeBron James on your team. We've all seen the draft pick sacrificed, the money sacrificed. This man won't take no pay cuts. He won't hustle out there on the basketball court, but he get max money. All this stuff that we've seen LeBron James devastate the franchise that he goes to, leaves them with nothing.
You know what? As long as we're on this topic, here, let me remind everybody, because we might not remember to get back to this. Roster changes for when LeBron went to LA. They added JaVale McGee, Markieff Morris, Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters, Rajon Rondo, who actually arrived the season before. That was the 2020 season. Rajon Rondo actually got there 2018, 2019. Tyson Chandler, Michael Beasley, Lance Stevenson. All these, I mean, that's just.
You didn't even mention Carmelo Anthony, AOH. You didn't even mention Melo.
No, I'm just talking about when LeBron arrived. I'm not talking about when they tried to add even more later. That's just when LeBron got to LA.
The irony is Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, guys like that. Those are players that he needed to win, and they just completely got disassociated from the idea of winning. Rajon Rondo was a big part of that bullshit ring. As useless as it was, as pointless as it was, he was a gigantic part of that ring. Dwight Howard, I still don't know why he got ousted from the league, but like these are players, the low-hanging fruit players that LeBron has played with are generationally better than anybody Jordan has ever played with. If that doesn't give you proper context, like the low tier of his help is better than anybody Jordan has ever played with, maybe including Pippen. Like nobody ever puts that into its proper context.
Yeah, give Michael Jordan 2020 Dwight Howard instead of Bill Cartwright.
Right.
Instead of Bill Longley.
Yeah, I know. Everybody that wants to shit on Dwight Howard, sorry, swap Dwight Howard and Bill Cartwright and then talk to me.
You don't think the Warriors wanted Dwight Howard, AOH? You wouldn't have wanted Dwight Howard instead of who was your big man that
we don't have a big man. We never have a big man.
Kevon Looney. Wouldn't you want Dwight Howard instead of Kevon Looney?
Kevon Looney got like 20 rebounds one game, and I was like, dude, Dwight Howard got 20 rebounds and 30 points.
Yep. Oh man.
We better keep moving through this. But to summarize, Windhorst shit on Kevin Love.
I can't stand him.
He shit on Kevin Love, pretended that the Cavs didn't make a bunch of other roster changes, and just dismissed the idea of stacked rosters because he made a whiny bitch voice.
Non-stop LeBron James praise, giving his flowers, for once again stacking the deck on an overpowered super team, this time in Philadelphia. The one guy who isn't falling over himself giving LeBron James praise is, of course, Charles Barkley, who in this era is a quote-unquote LeBron James critic. But even looking at Charles' critiques, I mean, they're mild at best.
LeBron's always stacking his teams.
Yeah, that's been one of my critics. Well, most people criticize him for that. He always stacks his team.
But what's wrong with wanting to build a team that can win a championship or going to?
You know, first of all, let's see. There you go.
This
He
shit
didn't
makes
build
me
a
want to
team.
kick like an animal. It's so fucking infuriating.
And look, credit to Charles Barkley. At least he pushed a little bit. He's like, there you go, claiming that he, caused this to happen by his arrival. That's why I looked up all those roster spots. I forgot. I got ahead of myself. I mean, it wasn't LeBron James came and that solved everything. What did I name? 20 goddamn roster changes in the first season and a half of each of those teams of LeBron arriving?
Yo, you know what? Dan Patrick is starting to get on my damn nerves, man. I'll be
Hell
honest,
yeah.
man. He's really starting to piss me off with some of the things he says, and it's how he says it. Sometimes he comes across really smug in his comments, almost if he's talking down to the fans. Talking about, people still hating on LeBron, like acting like he did something to them personally, like talking really weird, man, about this move to Philadelphia and how people have been clowning this stuff, man. But Dan Patrick, man, he's starting to get on my nerves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
He built a team in Los Angeles. They were bad before he got there.
Okay. How many players did I just list changed?
And his agency forced them to trade for Anthony Davis, who was ran by his group.
That's one. The Anthony Davis thing is huge. It's huge. That by itself is enough of an argument. How many other players did I list? I mean, it's crazy. In fact, it almost seems illegal, the types of moves the Lakers always get away with. And now the 76ers, I guess, have adopted that.
They're already talking about potential trade packages for Embiid.
Right.
Already.
Right.
It's already one of the most frustrating things about doing this is that we do this show every week, right? Robin, you do this 4 or 5 times a day. Cyberius, you do this once a day. AOH once a day, right? Everything that we're saying, almost to 100% accuracy, is coming to fruition. Now, I don't have any fucking X-Men mutant type powers that I'm aware of where I can predict the future, right? But I can look at the past and I can look at people's past behaviors and make a fair assumption about how they might move. And everybody on this panel and the majority of the intelligent people within this chat, we've been pretty correct. We've been more correct than we've been incorrect about how this man moves. So it's frustrating when you present actual evidence as to why somebody might be doing the things that they're doing based on pattern recognition, based on personality traits. And then it's immediately met with some bullshit. Well, you don't appreciate greatness. You should appreciate why he's here. You hate black men, blah, blah, blah. It's almost immediately met with like this completely irrational response. So one of the most frustrating things is we make these predictions twice a week, and it happens almost at 100% accuracy every single time. They're already talking about trading Embiid. The season hasn't even fucking started yet. And what's even crazier is it's Rich Paul's worm-looking ass sitting there talking about trading. What more do you need to see is my thing. Are you just being woefully fucking ignorant, or are you aware that you're being difficult and not accepting what we're presenting? I think that's one of my biggest frustrations, because it's not like we're pulling this shit out of our ass, right?
No.
That's why you're right all the time.
Well, so one thing that gets me is the obvious level of corruption and collusion. If you look at Clutch Sports, the NBA, and the Lakers, just those three, AD goes to the Lakers from the Pelicans. The next year, the Pelicans get the first round pick. Again, shortly after, Luka goes to the Lakers. The Mavs get the first round pick. What are they, the fucking luckiest teams in the world to miss their best players and then immediately get the first round pick? Like, come on, how obvious does the collusion have to be?
Exactly. It's almost disrespectfully obvious, Cyberius, at this point. And I used to always ask, like, how stupid do you think we are? But then I wake up and I look around and I'm like, well, there's a lot of stupid people out there. So maybe this does work for them. Maybe this presentation of what these things are that are being called facts, maybe that's believable to somebody like them.
Well, but I think, hold on, I just lost my train of thought. Fuck my brain. Well, no, okay. So I don't think they're concerned about it. I don't think they're trying to hide it because we live in a consequence-free environment where obviously they've been doing these things for years.
Good point.
There's no pushback. There's no consequence. There's no repercussion. Why the fuck do they need to bother hiding it anymore? If they can do it in public before everybody's eyes and nothing happens,
gee, what's
why
that remind
would
me
they
of?
feel entitled that they can still keep doing it?
See, you know what's really confusing to me about a lot of the way that, the LeBron James fans seem to think, and, we talk about the rewriting of history. A lot of times their claim is that LeBron James isn't the favorite, that, woe is me, woe is LeBron James, man. Listen, man, Michael Jordan didn't go, right? We talked about the competition, right? He didn't go against these guys, man. And what they're really doing is they're saying that he never really played with anybody really that good. That's the picture that they continue to try to paint. You talked about Barkley and Windhorst a couple of seconds ago, what he tried to do with Kevin Love. So anyone that doesn't really know Kevin Love, AOH, you show some of the highlights to really show, what he could kind of do. They're going to get this weird image of Kevin Love as not being that great, not being really that good. So, when they keep saying those things and then you actually once again, you do the research and look at the people that LeBron James actually played with. You see all the names and guys he's played with again, then it shows and highlights all the things that we're talking about, how much help this man has played with compared to the other great players. And they continue to try to act as if he hasn't played with anybody.
Let's keep moving forward. I'll play the clip a little bit more. Sorry, I got to put it back on the stage.
Shout out to Uncommon Sense again, man. Shout out to all you guys in the chat, man. I see you guys out there again, man. Thank you very much. You guys come through on a Sunday, man, with us.
Absolutely.
So stopping that right there very quickly, looking at someone like Dan Patrick, who's kind of down the middle and neutral. Dan, time and time again for LeBron James, is very, very flimsy. And looking at this clip, per usual, Dan Patrick succumbs to the clutch sports narrative, the mainstream sports narrative. Charles in this clip isn't being overly hyperbolic. He's not hating in the slightest. What Charles is doing is saying what happened in Los Angeles, LeBron James, clutch sports, and Anthony Davis. If you don't like the truth, ignore Charles Barkley. If you like living in fantasy land, listen to Dan Patrick.
But somehow when a player kind of takes in his own agency to do that for himself, then it becomes a character flaw. And I think that's the flaw overall in the argument. Like, this is a different time and an age where players feel as if they're bigger than the franchise.
Oh, that's not good.
And I think LeBron...
Shut the fuck up.
Is that not just the pity card again? Somehow
this goes back.
People
goes back to the fucking. Oh my gosh! Sorry,
people are now. It's so unfair. People are saying that shitty behavior is shitty. It's so unfair. Acting like a goddamn cheating bitch, and people call you out for it. No.
That's what they're doing now. They're playing the fucking victim card. They're stacking the fucking deck. And this point has been argued for weeks now, right? Well, he's supposed to win. He's supposed to chase rings. No, motherfucker. You know what the fuck we're arguing about. And this is, oh my God. You know what we're saying. You know that he's putting every top fucking flight player on his team. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes,
that's a good thing because of player. Hey,
that's not the
that's a
fucking
good
point.
thing because of player empowerment.
Right. It is disgusting because these same fucking losers they're gonna switch their opinion the second he retires. And no one's gonna fucking care.
Just meant everybody cheats and pads their pockets. Like it has nothing to do with the game of basketball.
If any other player had an agent that was representing another player and that agent happened to be his best friend, and all of a sudden that guy ended up on your team, but not only did he end up on your team, how did he end up on your team? He ended up on your team how? Because he literally stopped playing for the team that he was on. He's like, yo, Anthony Davis was having an MVP caliber season the year that he shut it down in New Orleans and was like, I ain't playing for y'all. Y'all got to trade me. That was the ultimatum he gave the team. This wasn't some smooth transition. This wasn't like, we weren't going anywhere. We want to get rid of this dude. We made a move. Nah, man. They literally was like, yo, shut it down, man. You're going to play with LeBron. They didn't want him to get hurt before he went and played for the Lakers. That was the whole story, man.
And he wore that bullshit shirt, Robin, talking about that's all folks. And when they pressed him about it, he acted like they had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. He was like, well, my fashion guy picked this shirt out for me. I had nothing to do with it. Yo, if you're going to take a fucking stand, take a stand. You put on a shirt that said that's all folks days before you got fucking traded to the team with your best fucking friend and your best agent. Stand on that shit. Don't act like you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. You're too big and too fucking powerful to act like a bitch like that. It is
who's fashion guy? First of all, what actual male has a fashion guy that makes his clothing decisions for him? What the fuck?
That's such a great point. I didn't even think
it is. These guys are so clownish that we have points inside of points. But the other point is, whose fashion guy would choose a "that's all folks" shirt for any goddamn reason other than to make that statement? Really, you had you had Looney Tunes on your mind that day. Hey, it'd be great if you represented Looney Tunes today. I'm sure that was the natural conversation. What the fuck?
It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Cyberius.
And these guys are supposed to be the toughest dudes on the planet. It's pathetic.
Cyberius, I hear you trying to get a word in.
I mean, I don't really have much more to add to it that hasn't already been said.
All right, I was wrong.
Just disgusting.
God damn it.
All right, go fuck yourself.
One of the rare few that because of his agency and because of the power that comes along with being LeBron James, that he can pick and choose and kind of skew the rails in the direction he wants. And I don't think that's a character flaw.
Oh, shit. He can pick and choose and scale the direction the way he wants, and that's not a character flaw. You just described cheating.
I hate Jay Williams too.
Again, he's pulling the Brian Windhorst. He's using a whiny voice, and therefore he's not describing cheating anymore. Everybody,
fucking Jay Williams.
I can't stand that dude.
I'm sorry, Robin. I know you were trying to talk. I'll shut up. Go.
No, I was just saying I can't stand Jay Williams, man. I really can't.
No, he's dreadful. There are so many people on TV that I would love to punch in the face, and almost all of them are on ESPN. What are they doing?
Who's number one? Because for me, it's Kendrick Perkins. It's going to be Kendrick Perkins for a while.
I think it's Stephen A.
Because he can't formulate a sentence.
I feel like I'd be like punching a mentally handicapped kid if I fought Kendrick Perkins. Stephen A. Smith knows exactly what he's doing, which makes it even more evil.
Nick Wright?
No, that's like picking on a crippled kid.
I'm crippled. It's fine.
That's right. I can't pick who you fight. I can only pick who I fight.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I like that, Shaq. How's it going?
KC says Joel might punch LeBron in the face.
No,
I
don't
know.
Soft, dude.
Every single season, I think people are going to finally have enough of this bullshit, and it doesn't happen.
That's Joel Embiid hits LeBron James. He'll fall down before LeBron James falls down, and he'll
break his wrist punching LeBron James or something. Something embarrassing.
I said in that video, what I want to happen is them to flop into each other and both genuinely hurt each other.
That would be classic. That would actually be a classic.
I got much darker in the video, but I'll spare that.
I'm going to do the final name that tune bit of the day. Everybody ready? Shout it when you know it.
Def Leppard.
I have to stop it or I'll get copyrighted. You guys didn't beat the copyright warning again.
I already said Def Leppard.
That sounded just like Def Leppard. Robin, why did Robin walk off the screen? I thought he would love the music.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
You got to do a
push-ups in order to hear it properly.
No.
All right, I'll play a few more seconds.
A lot of times,
yell it out.
AOH, it's obviously Hall & Oates, AOH.
I was going to say, I know I've heard the song before.
Anyway, it is. I can't go for that by Hall & Oates.
Private Eyes. Shout out to Hall & Oates, man.
genius of LeBron being a GM and being the player.
The genius of LeBron being a GM. Once again, it's not cheating, it's genius. I mean, the amount of brainwashing taking place in the seconds of ESPN. I mean, these people should be tried and jailed and punished for the influence they're having on tomorrow's next adults. If ever they even reach adulthood. They don't even seem to reach adulthood anymore.
Word. It's given a lot of adults. It would be nice.
Robin, we got an Uncle Alert. 440 jewels.
Shout to Vicente Garcia coming through with dropping some jewels.
Shout
you know
out.
how we do it on the live shows.
Someone does.
Player that actually demands that type of control as the player he is, one of the greatest to ever do it.
You have to say LeBron's the greatest ever, or like he not gonna talk to you.
Okay, we have another stopping point. Shout out to Uncommon and Uncut and all the people we feature on here for these sound bites. Listen, we can only play seconds of it before there's another talking point. It's true. I actually heard Kendrick Perkins say that LeBron still hasn't communicated with him since he said something that was slightly critical, a year ago. And I didn't know. I thought that they made up because Kendrick Perkins went right back to kissing LeBron's ass the way Windhorst went back to kissing LeBron's ass. Apparently, LeBron is still giving Perkins the silent treatment for anything even close to criticism, even if it's an objective question. Gee, what does that remind me of yet again?
But yet Kendrick Perkins continues to soldier on for LeBron, which is
that's
that
literally
level,
the job description. That's literally the ESPN
that
job
level of what's the word I'm looking? That level of loyalty is crazy, and it's frustrating because they get Kendrick Perkins and we get Charles Barkley with his swimming shirt and his old women glasses, and that's who represents our side. Is the guy with the glasses that aren't meant for him?
I got to tell you, that's
gives
part
you a
of it.
headache.
I wouldn't get as mad about
very
Barkley's
defeating.
glasses that he's like all we have left, and he's coming out there looking like that.
Right? Like we can't get a stronger representative for our side, than the guy that plays the lottery all the time. It's frustrating.
He's doing scratch.
It's very frustrating. Yeah, like, come on, man. We need better representation.
We just need the facts, man. They just got to keep listen, this is the problem here. You're never going to get the ultimate respect or have people actually want to listen to what you have to say and respect your opinion, right? If everyone's giving their opinions out here, I always say the same thing on my channel. You have to be able to explain your opinion. If someone asks you why you like this music, if someone asks you why you like this food, if someone asks you why you like playing this video game, you should be able to tell them why. You should be able to be, oh, yeah, well, I like playing the game because it's fun. It's a good way for me. It's a hobby that I've had, whatever the case may be, man. It's a good stress relief for me. Whatever it is, man, whatever you have to say, you should be able to explain this to somebody. I told you, man, if someone just came up to you and was like, yeah, this doo-doo tastes good. I talked about the Tide Pods before. If someone came to you and said, yo, man, you should eat this Tide Pod. It's really good. If they can't explain to you why you should eat that Tide Pod, why it tastes good, they should be able to explain that. They can't explain it. Weird people are doing weird things. So these people have weird opinions, man, that no one else is on board with. Charles Barkley looks like he's auditioning for the next, sequel of Big Mama's House. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about right now. And this we're talking about, you're inconsistent, though. So when you hear them say one thing, Uncut Hoops makes a cut, he goes to another clip, Charles Barkley saying something else. These guys are always saying something else.
It really sucks. Let me get to some supers. Y'all Sabag, you guys are really cooking today. Wow, what an amazing live. Thank you. And thank you for being here, and thank you for your support.
Shout out to Iron.
Hate to sound like a whiny bitch, but the way things are on YouTube and us truth tellers, your super chats mean more than ever to keep us going. Carl Harvey. Hey, Robin, you want to read the super from Carl Harvey?
Shout out to Carl Harvey, 1985, for coming through. When you think about the systemic changes to the NBA and the obvious collusion things seem to be political at this point. No investigations.
There are investigations, just not into a particular person. And also, we seem to forget that there was an investigation because nothing ever comes of these fucking investigations.
Nope.
Remember, they'll investigate They'll investigate Kawhi Leonard. They'll investigate Kawhi Leonard in a fucking heartbeat. They won't waste they'll waste all the money in the world investigating fucking Kawhi Leonard. But you got LeBron James, who gets everything he wants when he wants it, is in the best shape of his life the entire time, never gets hurt. But they want to investigate shit with him. But let Kawhi Leonard try to go back to Toronto where he never should have fucking left. And now all of a sudden, let's investigate that. Get the fuck out of here. And again, Anthony Davis took money under the table to be in fucking Space Jam: A New Legacy. That's how the Lakers were able to pay him even fucking more. Again, back to what Cyberius was saying. It's so obvious that it's not even disappointing anymore. We live in real world idiocracy, and this is the reality. We just need to accept it.
And this is why we laugh at LeBron James, because all of these things, all of them trying to manipulate stuff behind the scenes, all these scenarios, all the conspiracy theories, all the things that don't really add up, everything that we're talking about here, all the free throws, all the travels and carries, the illegal screen, you get all of that stuff. All of that's going on. You're still losing. Losing.
True.
That's why we laugh.
And that's why they tear down the past. If you're still losing today, if you can't solve the problem that's right in front of you, pretend like everybody didn't solve the problem. You know what? That's gonna give me. Let me put. Son of a bitch. Let me put Uncommon Sense's music back on. Remember, everybody, this is the premiere of the brand new Uncommon Sense song, Standing Around. I'm going to pull up something else from the past while this is playing. Go ahead and shout out anyone that you want to.
Hey, shout out to the whole chat. I would say, I promise you, if you guys put predictions in this chat to how the season's going to go, if I had to give a fair percentage of it, 70 to 75% of it's going to come true if it's anything along the lines of what we've been talking about. That's how confident we are in what we say. We've been saying this bullshit for the last 20 years, right? For every year that we have to hear about this fucking age, we make a prediction, and more often than not, it comes true. So I'd love to see some predictions in the chat. We can use it as a means of looking back in the past. And this can be, hey, like, we knew what it was. There are people who realize what's happening. We're not all fucking morons. A lot of us are, but not all of us.
An awful lot of us. Our brain damaged co-host puts LeBron fans to shame. He might be the most eloquent person.
Bring up the brain damage. Want to bring up the fact that I'm Mexican too, or an Indian?
Not
Red Face Wednesdays. Red Face Wednesdays coming up.
Show up in red face.
He'll do. I believe he'll do it. I do believe he'll do it. I'm here for it.
There's no if. It's happening.
Armando Ruiz. There he is. He comes in a little late.
Economics. I love it. Love it.
Go ahead and read it, Spin.
Shout out to Armando Ruiz with the $4.99. Let's talk economics. That's great. What's the number offered to these clowns to get on bended knee? Bended knee and go to town. Is it monetary? Is it access? How much for your soul? I'll bet you there's very little money involved. I would say the majority of these fucking clowns, they do it for the access. They do it just so they can be the ones that's not Dave McNenaman at the end of the games asking LeBron how great it is to be a great father, or how great it is to be a great husband, or how the I Promise School's doing. They're not doing it for money. They're doing it for the access. I think it's a great question, though. Economics is great. Hang on to that. Yo, trademark that. I think that should be a thing. I will financially back economics.
Out of the list of things I've prepared to tell you you're great at, and I'm going to read them, say them to you, LeBron. Please, exactly this interview. Out of this interview, please choose one of my economic questions.
Economics is fantastic.
Okay, so here's.
I told you, I think the most interesting thing, is going to be how many free throws are the Sixers going to have in relation to their opponent? Meaning, what's the plus minus going to be at the end of the season for the Sixers? The Lakers have been the overall number one in the free throw differential every year LeBron James was in the league, and they were heavy plus in those. They were plus 457 just last season. The Philadelphia Sixers last year were plus 48. So I'm interested to see what they end up at the end of the season, and that's really going to determine where the Philadelphia Sixers land, because we all know Joel Embiid doesn't play back-to-back games. He's probably going to play about 60 games. They're going to put him on a restriction of certain games because they want to save him for the playoff run. LeBron James, same thing. He's not going to play more than 70 games next season. He might play enough for the qualified at 65, but he's not going to play that many games next year because they're going to be saving these guys for the playoff push. So Maxey and Jaylen Brown, Edgecombe, they're going to have to be the guys to carry the Lakers and the Sixers, and are they going to get those free throws?
What's happening on LeBron James's head? He looks like somebody punked him at a fraternity party. Just took the blade right down one path right there. That's where it didn't grow.
Let me ask you guys a question. In the spirit of that free throw differential, Robin, are we ever going to reach the point where this can be investigated? Ever? Like, if the Sixers free throw differential is anything like the Lakers has been for the last 2 to 3 seasons, how does a governing body not come in and investigate like they did, for example, with steroids with baseball, right? Like, if the free throw differential becomes as dramatic as we all know it will be, how do you not investigate that? Especially when you have somebody like your guy, Steph Curry, AOH, who spends his life in the paint as an undersized guard and never gets a good whistle. At what point can we say, like, yo, like, let's start this GoFundMe. Let's start this change.org. This needs to be investigated. The Sixers were never getting this whistle, ever.
You know why, Speed? Because they never win. He never wins, as I'm saying. So think about it. What's the end result? It's a regular season. The regular season. So let's say the Sixers win 55 games next year. They win 55 games. Let's say they're the number 3 seed next year in the Western Conference, man, right? What's going to happen is when they go to the playoffs and they're playing against a legit playoff team that didn't need a plus 400 the free throw line to make the playoffs, what happens? The LeBron James teams, remember, this is LeBron James team now. They're already promoting it as LeBron James team. He's going to be the point guard. He's the one that they're already talking about. If LeBron James wins another championship on the Sixers, oh my goodness. So what ends up happening for the LeBron James-led teams in the playoffs, that style don't work. The referees can't save you in the playoffs, my man. They couldn't help you against OKC last season. None of that stuff. The only reason why they beat the Rockets last year is because the Rockets were a fraudulent team. We all saw the Rockets were fraudulent. Kevin Durant didn't even freaking play. He never had enough nerve to show up. But again, the other guys for the Lakers played above themselves. Rui Hachimura, right? Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, DeAndre Ayton. These guys played above themselves, and they were able to beat a team like the Houston Rockets. But that what happened the year before when they had that plus minus or whatever it was? They played the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. Oh, Lakers in 5. The work against Minnesota, who was playing legit defense against you guys, and again was a legit playoff team. So this free throw thing never really matters when you come to the playoffs, where you got to go out there and show up and play. They ain't doing it, LeBron James teams.
All right, I got another little piece from the past with the continuing attempt to destroy the past in order to lift the present. I uploaded in the members section one of the upscaled, 2 things actually, upscaled of how the Jazz got past the Rockets, because in order for the Bulls to face the Jazz, they had to get past Barkley, Clyde, Hakeem, and more. I'll read the whole part. And then also they got past the Lakers, whom I know the Lakers were young, but man, you guys, Shaq, Kobe, Nick Van Exel.
Nick Van Exel. Holy shit.
Eddie.
Is that Eddie George? Eddie George. Jesus. Eddie Jones. Eddie George.
No, but shout out to Eddie George.
Eddie Jones. You know what the fuck I meant.
Eddie George was like that.
Eddie George was like that. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans.
This is the same time that the Jazz swept the Lakers. The Lakers won 22 of their final 25 regular season games, tying Seattle with a 61-game win record.
Yep.
These are the Lakers that lost to the Jazz. 61-game win record. They had to defeat that Seattle team that had the same record as them in order to face the Jazz. They had 4 All-Stars named to the 98 NBA All-Star team. O'Neal, Bryant, Jones, and Van Exel.
Exactly. Great points, AOH. Once again, these are the teams that they tell you now weren't that. You see what I'm saying? Like, they try to rewrite their history, but we all know the facts. When you actually watch the games, you look at the actual teams, the players that were on the teams. That's why I've said before, when they tell you guys, like, oh, Shaq was carrying Kobe and this and that. Yeah, well, if Shaq was really that great and was really carrying people like that, then how come they weren't winning against some of these other teams before Kobe Bryant really developed into somebody, before he was really put in as a starter over in Eddie Jones? And another thing that highlights is something that we've talked about before. Back in them days, you had to earn your spot on the basketball court. So Kobe Bryant had to earn his spot over someone like Eddie Jones. And the Lakers were a formidable team, but we go back to the Utah Jazz. They're only seen as a weak team. Why? Because Michael Jordan's Bulls beat them. So it's really funny. Michael Jordan almost needed to lose to the Utah Jazz in order for them to be seen as a great team.
I think about that a lot. It's like, would it have actually helped Jordan to lose sometimes? Look at the rest of this roster: Corey Blount, Kobe Bryant, Eldon Campbell, who, by the way, was still quite legitimate at the time. I mean, people don't even mention Eldon Campbell on this version of the Lakers. Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Robert Horry, Eddie Jones, and Shaquille O'Neal. That's no shitty roster.
Right. And it's really funny when you talk about a team like that, and people will, point to maybe like a Phil Jackson, maybe not being the coach at the time. But yeah, once again, if Phil Jackson was coaching this team and he wasn't coaching the Bulls, you still got going to be beating some of these other teams because Phil Jackson was there. No, they needed other guys to develop. They needed other guys in the lineups. They needed different players, man. Go look at some of the players that the Lakers started winning championships with. It wasn't this team that they had. And again, the development of other players. But also, we must remember, like I said, when you talk about some of these guys and some of the teams that they were going against, this is why we're highlighting the competition of the 90s. When we talk about the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, there was no weaker conference. Oh, these guys were the weak conference. This was the powerful conference. Both conferences were even. I told you, I did the record, I did the video, man. The numbers head to head from East to West. The East won the matchups by 2 games. 2 games. That's how close it was.
Two more quick supers. KC, can you imagine if the Sixers gave Prime AI this help? Wow, good point. Good point.
Who was Prime AI second option? Was it fucking Aaron McKee, Eric Snow? I mean, who was Iverson's help in Philly? And they still managed to get the game off the Lakers.
Option.
No, they brought in Mutombo, but that's not really offensive.
Dikembe Mutombo, right?
The second option was the team collective. That was the second option. Whoever had to knock a couple of down shots, maybe it was George Lynch. Yeah, maybe it was Eric Snow. Like you said,
Robin,
maybe
it was that bad.
Maybe it was Tyrone Hill.
That's how bad they were. It was.
Well, it's not that they were bad though. But what we talked about, like that's what we talk about with Allen Iverson, right? They literally built a team around what his strengths and weaknesses were. And Allen Iverson was so relentless at his strengths that he was able to, catapult these guys with less offensive help than many players in NBA's history have ever taken to an NBA Finals. And he beat some good teams along the way. And he was able to win a game against the Lakers that had not lost a game in the playoffs up until that point. So when you talk about what Allen Iverson does, this is why we put Allen Iverson in a different light. And we respect what he was able to do, the relentlessness of this guy and what he was able to. You said some of the guys that he was leading to that finals, insane stuff.
Armando Ruiz says Brian Windhorst just sent him a cease and desist. Have him send you a few more.
I mean, listen, those guys played defense behind Allen Iverson. That's what they did. Their job was to rebound, play defense, man, and get the ball to Allen Iverson on the offensive end. Eric Snow was a really solid ball handler and point guard. Someone who didn't make a lot of mistakes, turn the ball over a lot. You know what I'm saying? He can knock down an open shot. And you had Larry Brown, who, we said was a mastermind on the basketball court.
And again, that Lakers team didn't lose a fucking game up until they went against the Sixers. Actually, they should be called the Sickers now. They were about to sweep the fucking playoffs. There was no answer for that team. None.
The Sixers had some injuries too. Once
Did
they got
they?
to the finals, yeah.
Was Dallenberg was their big man, right? Their other big man that year. I
do
feel
not
like
know.
it was him and Mutombo.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know that there maybe like I'm trying to remember some of the names, like Matt Geiger. I don't know if he was on that team, but they had.
I know.
Right.
I know Eric Snow was on that team, and Eric Snow fell out of favor after Dwayne Wade crossed him out of bounds. People stopped checking for Eric Snow after that.
Right, they clowned Eric Snow, right, with LeBron James, but Eric Snow was who Allen Iverson had, right? But they don't talk about these guys the same way.
No.
Like you said, I mean, Allen Iverson was playing with guys you can't even remember. It's like I said before, think about Michael Jordan's teammates. Think about the great players' teammates. You remember them dudes, man. And Allen Iverson was a great player, but he's not Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or Wilt Chamberlain or Bill Russell or Tim Duncan or Michael Jordan. Some of these other guys we've talked about, the great players. You remember their teammates. They made you remember the guys that they played alongside. You know, Allen Iverson not winning a championship is not because he wasn't great. It was because when you talk about the odds you were going against, literally, there's nothing you can do against those kinds of teams, man. He would have needed the Lakers to play like LeBron James's teams play in the finals for them to lose that finals. You would need one of your lead players, a Shaq or a Kobe, to have one of the worst finals performances. See, this is what we laugh about. Like when you talk about someone like Allen Iverson, some of these other great players, how many times did these guys go to the finals and they played against someone like LeBron James who choked it up for them? Charles Barkley never had Michael Jordan choke up an average 17 points. Imagine Michael Jordan averaging 22 points a game in the finals. Charles Barkley's Phoenix Suns are winning that finals, guys, by a landslide. That's a half of what he averaged in the finals, man. So you talk about the opportunities that some of these other players had. They didn't have these guys choking it up in the finals, man.
And not to fucking mention, Robin, Iverson listed at 6'1", in reality, probably more like 5'10", 5'11", but he lived in the fucking paint, and he got hit by dudes that were literally twice his fucking size. And when did you ever see him lay his ass on the ground and roll around and make fucking snow angels and all this bullshit and act like he's fucking hurt? He got up and he hit the fucking free throw. That's another reason it's so frustrating. I can't believe LeBron's going to fucking Philly, a city, granted, I can't stand, but still known for its fucking grit and hard edge. Iverson was an undersized fucking scoring guard on a kind of shitty team in the Eastern Conference and balled the fuck out. Everybody in my life knew to do the stupid ass crossover. That was obviously a carry, but it was a fucking moment in history because Iverson was a legitimate human being. He was himself. He embraced what made him him. If you didn't fuck with him, all right, cool. They tried to change the dress code, okay, cool. But he never shifted, and his team followed that. It's so fucking weird.
Here's a name from that roster. Did you guys know that Tony Kukoc was on that roster? How quickly did he disappear after Jordan?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I believe he played in the Milwaukee Bucks too, Tony Kukoc, on maybe a couple of their playoff teams, if I remember correctly. But again, like you said, they'll never talk about those players with, other players or what they did, without Jordan. They just talk about them when they played with Jordan. They were amazing. They were the best. I tell you, Tony Kukoc is the greatest sixth man of all time, according to a lot of the LeBron James fans. Yeah, Tony Kukoc, man. Are you kidding me? And Tony Kukoc was an excellent player. There's no knock on Tony Kukoc, man. But again, these guys get hyped up even more playing with Michael Jordan. But the guys that LeBron James played with, they're also rans. They're second-rate players. I mean, Dwayne Wade is one of the greatest shooting guards in NBA's history, and people act as if he was, he's okay, I guess.
Right.
Kyrie Irving has the best handle in the history of the fucking league. I don't think it's up for argument. And he is the reason LeBron has a fucking ring. And for him to be discounted and for us to be sitting here and talking about Stephen A. kissing his ass and apologizing for the vaccination and all that bullshit, for him to be reduced to anything other than the greatest handler of the basketball in the history of fucking sports is fucking weird and a testament to, again, why LeBron sucks. Because Kyrie should be known as the best one-on-one player I've certainly ever seen, right? But again, that's what he's reduced to. It's weird.
Speem, you are saying some crazy stuff right now. I'm not going to get crazy on you. All right? You need to stop right now with the nonsensical things. Again, when you start talking about the historics and Kyrie Irving, man. All right?
What was nonsensical about what I said?
He said best ever.
About the one-on-one play.
His handle
slow down here. All right, number one, we gotta slow down because we have to remember the era that we're talking about here. There's no knock on Kyrie Irving. He can dribble the basketball, man.
Okay,
I want people to go watch some clips of Isaiah Thomas dribbling the basketball at Magic Johnson's. He had one of those, charity games, Magic Johnson. And Isaiah Thomas put on one of the great dribbling displays in the history of basketball I've ever seen on videotape, man. This man was dribbling with fingertips. He was doing it was like he was playing the piano with the basketball. And we've all talked about Isaiah Thomas and the nonsensical things he says. But when you talk about ball handling and dribbling the basketball, and we're talking about dribbling under the official standards of basketball, I have to put these other guys in the conversation above a Kyrie Irving because, like I said, the officiating standard that they were dribbling under was, to me, on another level, man. And Kyrie Irving was like that, man. But let's not act like this dude ain't scooping and palming and doing all kinds of nonsense with the damn basketball. Speed, come on, man.
I don't think I don't want to get too far off on that tangent, but I don't think he carries and palms all like that. I think he can get to paint however he wants. But I think that's a great argument for a later show. I think that's a great point for sure.
I want to get into that. We can do it in a different show, but I absolutely.
Then there's these fucking glasses ruining everything.
Stopping that right there very quickly. For someone like Jay Williams, one of the better ESPN analysts, this guy's main fatal flaw is too friendly to players, mainly Kevin Durant and even LeBron James. As of course 2016, looking at Jay Williams, one of the people in the media defending Kevin Durant for going to Golden State.
Are you serious?
For the average LeBron James fan back in 2016, Kevin Durant going to Golden State, that was their D-Day, one of the worst days of their life. Durant stacking the deck, chasing rings, they hated that and hate it to this day. But looking at LeBron James, the clear hypocrisy is LeBron at various stops does the exact same thing or does things very close to that. But LeBron fans, when LeBron does it, they don't really care.
See, I'm going to interrupt Uncut for saying the exact same thing. You guys remember how many roster changes I read off being done for LeBron James just upon his arrival, much less every single season that he's in any place? The Warriors added a dude. You're allowed to do that, people. It is not the same fucking thing. Everyone else on the team was fucking drafted, and they added one free agency dude.
Yeah, but they got Jimmy Butler, and he's great.
Guess what? They could have failed. Look, how many times has LeBron James done that and it failed? You're like, oh wow, this team can't fail, and it fails anyway. If you have LeBron James on that Warrior team and the chemistry isn't there, that Warriors team doesn't do what it did. Like Kevin Durant joining LeBron James is not going to be the same result as Kevin Durant joining Steph Curry.
Great point. LH, you're right.
Well, and their get out of jail free is because LeBron's super teams often fail. And failure absolves him of guilt.
Failure absolves him of guilt. That's yours. That's your quote.
It doesn't, but in their minds, it 100% does.
All right.
Like, how can it be a super team? They only won 39 games.
Right. Exactly.
But isn't it interesting? The definition of super team is almost always revolved around a LeBron James team. Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know? You almost never hear about it otherwise. No one's calling the Rockets a super team, right? It's almost always a LeBron James team. Is it a super team? Because the answer is yes.
I remember when he told us to keep that same energy. I think the one of the parts that's been lost because we focus on to keep the same energy. One of the things that we forgot that was earlier in that tweet that he sent out is that he talked about how people were saying, "Oh, this and that, you guys are old, blah blah blah." Remember, so he was basically saying, "Oh, what the people were laughing about is all you fools were trying to come together later in your career. We were laughing at this stuff. Y'all ain't gonna win no games." But the people on ESPN, Kendrick Perkins specifically, said, "Watch them win 70 games." Yep. 70 games.
Who said that?
Kendrick Perkins. I have the clip on my channel on the shorts. Yep. Kendrick Perkins said that on ESPN that they would possibly win 70 games. They ended up winning like 33. But remember, the important part was that we all laughed about how old they were. So when they say, "Oh, well, those guys were old, they had some injuries." No, LeBron James said, "Don't worry about us being old. Don't worry about the blah, blah, blah."
Shout out to Import AI. Exactly. Keep the same energy, then deleted the fucking tweet. That's not what a man does, yo. Like, that's not what a grown-ass man does. You put the shit out there. The internet's forever. Don't fucking delete it. Stand on it. What are we talking about?
Remember, he gave us all the praying hand emojis. He was praying. I want to pray. I'm going to get down on my knees, Lord, and I'm going to please say, God, you guys better keep that same energy out there for the rest of the season. Man, we've been keeping that same energy since then. You guys noticed, I just posted the photo of the 2022 LA Lakers roster. And the reason why I did that is because what you've noticed over the last several days, if not last week or so, is a lot of LeBron James fans posting photos of Charles Barkley on the Rockets, Scottie Pippen on the Rockets, Karl Malone, Gary Payton on the Lakers. They keep trying to post these photos of other players playing on other teams late in their careers. But you guys, I ain't never seen y'all posting talking about that photo of the 2022 Lakers, and they had 6 Hall of Famers on that team. 6 Hall of Famers on that team, and you guys did not even win 35 games? Are you kidding me right now?
Well, so the thing that disgusts me about Barkley going to the Rockets, he did not make that move. He was traded to that team behind his fucking back. He did not go to them. So when people say, oh, Barkley was ring chasing, no, he fucking wasn't. He got punked by his team.
Wow. That's a big detail. That does not get talked about.
Shout out to Cyberius, man.
Gotta love those passive shout outs for Ron.
I'm telling you, man, they never keep the same energy. He told us to, but like Cyberius is pointing out, they never keep the same energy. They always bring these other players, other scenarios that are not the same as what LeBron James is dealing with. When you hear guys like Jay Williams talking about, oh, you know, he just makes his own moves. They keep using this nonsense. He does things the way he wants to do it, and people got a problem with, dude, what are you talking about, man?
Robin, if
you're Michigan got Dennis Rodman on the Bulls because his agent went and represented Dennis Rodman, and that was his best friend. If Ahmad Rashad got Dennis Rodman on the Bulls they would be talking about that to this day. But why do they talk about the Bulls that way? Because the Bulls won 3 in a row. They didn't lose 3 in a row. So if they would have lost those 3 championships, they would never be talking about the Bulls are a super team. The only reason they're calling them a super team is because they got super results.
Let's also
Robin, you're missing an important point.
Stop, you're done.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You have my permission to proceed.
Let's understand that nobody thought, even though, you know, Barkley was old, also nobody was like giving him a shout out like, oh, wow, this is going to make him the GOAT. You know, like there was a little bit of shame associated with it. It's not like it was the best thing anyone ever saw out of Barkley going to the Rockets. It's not like it was the best thing anyone ever saw out of Shaq when he chased to 5 different fucking teams. You guys are associating LeBron James as being the GOAT while he participates in things that other people are supposed to be ashamed of. Nobody said, oh, this is going to make Barkley the GOAT. Right. It was done. He was not, no one was ever going to put him in that category. It was like, it'd be nice if he got a ring. Like, you guys aren't talking about, oh, it would be nice to get LeBron one last ring. You're talking about it's going to somehow magically make him the GOAT to be riding another goddamn bus.
Well, and the one point that never gets talked about, you know, like Shams or fucking Sham, as I like to call him, that they never talk about is, oh, they're praising him for getting a championship with 4 different teams or potentially getting one with 4 different teams. Well, why don't they ever talk about the fact that despite the fact that he played for the Cavaliers twice, he spent 11 years on that team and brought them 1 fucking ring. He spent 8 years on the Lakers and got them a bubble ring. I mean, the only reason why he got 2 in Miami was because it was an incredibly stacked team in an incredibly weak conference, and then they still only went 500.
Right.
That sounds like shit to me. If you spend 11 years on a team and win one ring, that's not greatness. That's I lucked into one.
Right. And you manipulated those rosters all those years, got a lot of people traded on, you got a lot of free agents, you had a lot of help. And like you said, you're only able to muster one. You know, and wait, you said something interesting about, you know, rooting for Charles Barkley. right? Like you said, that's a great point. People were rooting for Charles Barkley. Why? Because he was at the end of his career and had never won a championship. So you were like, damn, man, Charles Barkley played really great in 93, man. It's too bad he couldn't beat Michael Jordan. That's how you felt when Charles Barkley and the Suns lost that series. Charles Barkley was sensational in that finals. He didn't choke it up. It was, oh, Charles Barkley had his chance. He choked. No, he didn't choke it up. So you were rooting for Charles Barkley. It was almost like a couple of years ago. I was rooting for Russell Westbrook to win a championship on the Nuggets. I was like, man, I hope Westbrook could help the Nuggets win a championship, that he could be a valued member on that team. I was rooting for the Nuggets because I wanted to see Russell Westbrook win a championship. And these are the kinds of things we talk about. You're rooting for some of these players.
Absolutely. Whose topics did we not get to? I can keep playing that uncut video, but I think we should also wrap it up pretty soon. Who feels, who's got something that we just haven't touched on?
I want to add on to one thing Robin said. Robin, okay. One thing you didn't mention is the whole narrative of doing it your way. One of the things that's the most disgusting about somebody like a Rich Paul or a Draymond Green is they immediately attach a race card to it. They immediately say, well, nobody likes it when a black man does it his way, right? Like that's the first thing they fucking go to, completely nullifying the idea that we're not talking about him doing it his way. We're talking about him doing it by stacking the fucking deck and making it as easy as possible to win. And they immediately hide behind this idea of, well, nobody likes it if the black man puts it into his own hands. Motherfucker, that's not what we're fucking talking about. There are people that deal with real world fucking consequences because of the color of their fucking skin. But if you're stacking the deck to make it as easy as possible to continue to win and you're already a fucking billionaire, I'm not hearing that victim bullshit. And that's one of the reasons that I get so frustrated, because that's a real world thing that people deal with on a day-to-day fucking basis. So for fucking worm Rich Paul to sit there and hide behind something like that, for Draymond Green to hide behind something like that, for LeBron James to hide behind race when you're already in the top 1% of the 1% of earners on the planet, yo, fuck you and fuck everything you stand for. Because there are people that have to work fucking paycheck to paycheck. They don't know where they're going to be because of the color of their skin. That's the nature of life today, right? So stop playing the fucking victim card and acting dumb, acting ignorant like you don't know what we're saying. That's the most preposterous thing of it all. Playing stupid like you don't know what we're trying to tell you, no. You're stacking the deck. You're making it. You're doing the same shit you were doing in Miami. Stop moving the fucking goalpost. Stop changing definitions, because there are some people that are intelligent enough to pick up on it. Robin, that's one thing you didn't mention. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I think we should close out. You said you want to wrap it up in a little bit. Yeah, sure. I got to roll in a little bit too. But I think we should close it out with the continuation. I know Cyberius, he wanted to add into the ball handling conversation that we were talking about with the Kyrie Irving, and I was talking about Isaiah Thomas and some of that stuff. Cyberius wanted to add to that. I think let's wrap it up with that. Cyberius, and if, whatever we want to say about whatever Cyberius has to say.
Ooh, excuse me.
My issue with dribbling in the modern NBA, and I know that as the NBA has gone on from the ABA to the NBA, they've obviously gotten lenient on what is considered carrying the ball, traveling, palming. But palming to me is the big one. When you look back to the 1950s and 1960s and you look at a player like George Best, who is if his palm touched that fucking ball, travel, carry. Kyrie did not live under those same rules. And the reality is, I think if he had to, I don't know if he could do it. And it's not to steal anything away from him, because the reality is, I'm glad that they lightened up on it a little bit. It's more interesting. I mean, I go back and I watch 50s, 60s basketball now, and it looks like they dribble like freaks. It doesn't look normal. It doesn't look natural. But like it's gone too far now. And I think Kyrie is part of that guilt of it going too far, because he had a great game. He was able to go to the basket in a lot of creative ways because of the way that he dribbled the ball. But to say that he's the best to ever do it, I mean, I'd put him against George Best any day.
I really hope we come back to this. I think it's a great conversation. I do.
Say something then.
Yeah, he's certainly not innocent, but he carried a little bit compared to the past. But considering how good Kyrie's handles are, I would say that he abided by the rules more than a lot of people who get praised for ball handling skills.
And that's a great point, AOH. And I think that's a point that Cyberius is making. It's a point that we've all made. If the guys today are going to be promoted as more skilled than George Best, who the Cyberius brings up here, or he was more skilled than someone like Bob Cousy, who was a wizard. Go look at some of the clinics and the camps that Bob Cousy was doing and some of the dribbling videos that I've seen of Bob Cousy. I mean, he was doing things, once again, there was no video footage for Bob Cousy to look at and someone to study. He was doing things that people have never seen before with the basketball under those rules. So what he's talking about, these guys are so great today. Like you said, Kyrie Irving is absolutely a great ball handler. He's absolutely in the conversation of the greatest ball handlers of all time. No doubt about that, Speed. But if they're that great, then they should be held to a higher standard. They should be, in fact, held to a more strict standard. It doesn't have to be the 50s, because like you said, that was really limiting those guys from being and showing their greatness. Guys like Elgin Baylor, a lot of these guys, they couldn't really maximize their true potential. Will Chamberlain was limited heavily because of the way the game was officiated. So if you look at the development from the 70s, look at Pistol Pete Maravich, man. I did a video on Pistol Pete Maravich, and I talked and I studied about this dude. This dude was dribbling the basketball everywhere he went. They said he used to get kicked out of movie theaters because he'd be dribbling the ball off the heads of people in movie theaters, dribbling and moving cars. All of these things, Pistol Pete Maravich, look at the standard of officiating he was dribbling and the moves he was doing. So when you talk about the ball handling and what these guys could do, it's once again, it's different standards.
I think you make an excellent point there, Robin. If we could take the players of today, if we could take Kyrie and put him back in the officiating of the 80s and 90s and he could still do it under that same standard, then great. I'm just not entirely convinced that he could. And again, it's not to take anything away from him. I enjoy watching him play. I enjoy the things that he can do with the basketball.
All right. So
to be fair, Iverson was considered carrying all the time, and he's people say he has the greatest crossover of all time, and it's Tim Hardaway, by the way, not Iverson, but Iverson carried the ball all the time, and he's considered one of the greatest crossovers of all time. So they're just throwing that out there. Just throwing that.
So as we wrap up, this is what I see on the NBA page. 3 out of 4 stories going across the bottom are LeBron James promotion. 3 out of fucking 4. 3 out of fucking 4. And the fourth one is terrible too. The Warriors ink Green to a 1-year deal. I gotta tell you, regardless of how much I don't like Green personally, where are his consequences for being like, well, I'm gonna not sign until I find out what my boyfriend is doing, and then when it doesn't work out for him and he whines about it like a little bitch, the Warriors say, well, just come right back. Here you go. I mean, fuck the goddamn Warriors. What the fuck is going on with that organization?
That's your squad. That goes back to that whole, is Steph Curry guilty for not stepping up and saying something?
As if he could. As if it would do anything.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Okay, actually, before we go, does he not have any power on the Warriors, AOH? Do you feel that way?
Oh, I didn't say he doesn't have any power, but we had nearly a whole show about what happens if he says something.
Okay, I was just curious.
I mean, if he said something, I'd be able to have more respect for him. Like, regardless of whether he was able to accomplish anything or not, at least anyway.
Well, you want to talk about lowering standards. As soft as his replies were, they're harder replies than a lot of people. Like him saying, I'm good right now, or I'd rather see him on the golf course, is as close to dissing LeBron James as you're allowed to get anymore without the mafia coming after you. And it's not even going after sports.
You know what's crazy, AOH? You know what's crazy, man? You guys are sitting there talking about Steph Curry, and it just dawned on me, is that what Steph Curry's ultimately going to be known for is what he did with the guys that he had. Like, think about it. Draymond Green, we're going to look back and say, damn, how the hell did he win 4 championships with Draymond freaking Green? We're going to turn around and say, how did he win those 2 championships with Kevin Durant? Because Kevin Durant's really not as great as they try to promote him to be. So really, at the end of all of this, Steph Curry's going to be known as the guy who did more with less than LeBron James, than Kevin Durant, the guys who are supposed to be greater than him. You guys know the deal, man. Get you guys on the next one.
That was hard. That was great. That was a great sign-off, Robin. Good for you.
See everybody on Wednesday. Thanks for being here.